what happens if 20th Century Fox take away a massive budget, give somebody creative control, let them do some clever leaking and marketing, perfect casting, an amazing script? What do you get? And you get this.
Well, should we rephrase that? What happens if Ryan Reynolds really pursues it, pays a couple of scriptwriters, works with them constantly, does stuff completely without regard for Fox, then leaks the stuff just to get the fans on board with it, and basically goes, fuck you, Fox. What happens when you get rid of Fox completely and you hand control over to an actor who really wants to do the role and is heavily invested in it, and two writers who really want to do something with it, and a director who's a games CGI engineering guy? You get a fantastic film.
What happens when a Fox executive...
all of the Fox films.
What happens when the Fox executives realise they've had too much of a good year when it comes to paying tax and think they can do another Xmen movie quickly as a tax write-off and do not fucking appreciate how many people are going to go and see it, makes them millions of pounds, and that said tax executive loses his fucking job.
Lovely.
So, we just say...
It's the film that succeeds because they have the least Fox involvement. It's the film series that just shows that Fox should just fuck off and leave it to people who actually give a shit about these films. Every time an executive is involved in any of these films, the main series of films, they're crap. The least that they have to do with a film, the better the film is. Every time.
It's the origin story that's perfect. It's funny, it's filthy, it's got a fit Vanessa in it, it's got a great British villain in who I wanted to get killed. I watched it the other night.
Product,
I watched it again the other night with my daughter for the first time, and it's amazing. It is still an amazing film. It's perfect.
A perfect storm, really, because
I watched it the weekend.
It was riding on the coattails of how good the MCU was. The majority of people didn't know fucking Deadpool was associated with the Xmen until they went and saw it at the cinema.
Yeah.
The majority of the people who went to see this fucking film thought it was a comedy parody taking the piss out of fucking superhero movies. That was the majority of people who end up fucking going to see it and laughing their tits off. Our dad didn't have a fucking clue who Deadpool was, but he pissed his pants. And that was why it just grew and kept on going, because it was fucking funny.
It has amazing. The best version of that's ever been on screen.
Yeah.
And then it makes you really like Teenage Negasonic Warhead, a character that no one gave a shit about before, a character that they had to like barter with them to get because they got no rights to anything. Like, you know, just what can we get? Oh, we'll let you have this or whatever, and we can use a shield carrier. Yeah, great. Would you do a bit of bartering just to get stuff done because they hadn't got budget for it, and they made it successful because of that smaller budget. The whole shootout at the end was done because they didn't have the budget to do a big shootout, so it had to be limited. Fantastic,
amazing. It's an amazing film. It's funny. It's genius. And Ryan Reynolds.
It's everything you want.
Ryan Reynolds is as good a casting choice, like the perfect casting choice. He's up there with Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He's perfect. He is Deadpool. It's a brilliant film.
And who would have thought that after seeing him in Wolverine Origins? He started out great, then they kill it, and they bring in, who was the guy from around here? Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
They bring Scott Adkins in to be like the mouth sewn up Deadpool in there. Now, Scott Adkins I like Scott Adkins a lot, and I'd like to see him as Union Jack. I think he'd be fantastic as Union Jack. He'd be excellent, absolutely brilliant. But Ryan Reynolds, going from the character that he is in that first one, they give us the good-looking Wade Wilson in that, when Wade Wilson should never, ever be good-looking. Just give him the mask, make him deformed. He's funnier than ever. Cut his hand off. It's like the size of a KFC spork right now. I bet it feels huge in this.
It's
I'll just put on my just put on my Crocs. You mean your plastic wanking shoes? Yes.
Yeah.
That's-
It's astonishing. It's a brilliant film.
It's wonderful.
I'm almost to the point. It's faultless. I can't. It's the right running time. It's just perfect. It really is brilliant.
It's paced amazingly well.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that budget, they just put so much effort into everything. They practice it all. They did all the pre-production stuff. They did all the CGI that they could because the guy was a games guy and he got his team doing it for really. It shouldn't have been as cheap as it was to make because he did a lot of stuff for like less than price that it should have been. But they practiced. They took the time. They wrote it. They wrote it again. They didn't go on set and start filming it and say, "Oh, we'll change it as we go along." They actually figured everything out beforehand because they were limited by budget. And they all wanted to do it and loved it. And Ryan Reynolds paid the script writers to be on set every day for any changes that they needed to make. I mean, that's it. You don't bring in extra people who don't really know what's going on. You keep the exact guys that you've worked with and have the team of the three of them doing anything that they've got to change at the time. They do it together. It's just everything that made it work was wonderful.
I just, from Ryan Reynolds' point of view, it did feel like a labour of love. It was the heavy. I mean, you talk about heavy investment. Jesus Christ!
Well, yeah. Do they know who? No one knows who released it, but it was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I wonder who leaked that test screening bit. Yeah, I wonder who that was.
Ryan Reynolds released this. Ryan Reynolds released this.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool.
I mean,
Reynolds.
if you think about it, the two Deadpool movies are on a par with the two Borat movies because they're bending the genre that they're in and they.
Nice. They're nice. Dziękuję.
And
I open this with my small horn.
And it is Deadpool is Borat in the superhero universe, and it works.
Cinque.
Xmen.
Mark, God damn it, Monty, that's one of the best things that you've ever come up with ever. That's fantastic. God damn it. That's way better than like Batman being the birth of the MCU. No, that's fucking ace. That actually nails it.
It's
the independent movie. It's the independent. It's the little independent. It's fantastic. It just bats above its weight. It's wonderful. It's a creator taking. Ryan Reynolds is that creator. He is that Sacha Baron Cohen character. You know, the creator who just goes in there, and he's gone balls to the wall, and he's got the right team around him, and they were just wonderful.
And I'll tell you something else. Because of Deadpool 1 and 2, we will never, ever, ever get an Xmen movie like we've had from Fox ever again. And that's the best. That's the other good thing from this.
Fingers crossed.
We'll never have another share of shit.
Mark, would you agree? We all love this, don't we? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You can't help but love it. It's brilliant.
Okay. So, then, a couple of years ago...
50,000 or something to make, and they made over 800 million from it. It's like, just Jesus Christ, that's amazing. 50 million and 800 million.
So then, along came this,
which I still loved. It's not got the same shock factor as the first.
Did they drop the ball? Change of director? Did they drop the ball? And the answer for me is no, they didn't. It's still a great film. And actually,
I can't watch one without the other. So
being electrocuted.
And actually, for me, what I like about the second one is, yeah, you've got the Vanessa death bit, and it's a family bit, and you've got a little bit more mutant stuff in there, but you've got that kid from who's that New Zealand? What's that New Zealand kid's name? Is in the
the Wildebeest.
The Wildebeest kid.
For the Wildebeest.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
But the character that's in there though is playing what's his name, the bear guy.
And then
the comedian that comes in with the tash. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Then you've got Josh. Then you've got Brolin who comes in, who has already cast the Thanos, and you've got that going on.
They have a wonder, and suddenly you've got the straight man, wisecrack sort of double act going on there, and it works. And the two of them doing the PR for the film together was just wonderful.
And then to the finishing act is brilliant. And then the ending of the film, talk about follow the rules correctly for time travel, Mark. Let's just iron everything out. Let's kill Green Lantern. Let's kill the silent Deadpool, and let's bring Vanessa back. Hallelujah! That's how you do it properly. It's a wonderful film. The second one is as well.
Just signing
so
bang, bang.
You've made it now, kid. Bang bang, or killing Hitler, which I think they changed on the Blu-ray release, didn't they? It's amazing. I love the second one.
Always harder than you think.
It's like I just said. I have to watch them both together. It's one big continuous movie for me, really.
And it's wonderful, though. I can't believe how many people actually at the time had a dig at the second one. The only thing you can knock it for is you've lost the element of surprise that you had with the very first one. But that's it. That's all that you'd lost. You hadn't lost anything else. You gain more stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
And
the second one's great as well.
They've got more budget, not too much more budget, but you've got more budget. You can do more action scenes. I mean, the whole thing with the juggernauts, the big Mack truck like going through the prison, like driving through, that scene is fantastic. And Domino with the luck power.
Yeah.
Luck powers won't look spectacular on screen. Oh yeah, they will.
I like the
fantastic.
I like the X-Force, his team, and all their sad, pathetic deaths really quickly. It's just great.
And isn't it
cast with great actors?
That if the House of Mouse hadn't bought Fox, we could have potentially had a Deadpool 3 by now.
Yeah.
And now we may never get one.
We will.
I think we will.
They've been talking about it again recently. It's going to happen.
Marvel won't do an R-rated superhero movie.
They'll. Have you not noticed that they've kept the Fox brand?
Yeah.
A lot.
One where I think, no, you'll eat your words on this one.
I don't think I will. I think that's it. I think we're done. I don't think
we've got our 10 quid bet down anyway. We won't see a
Deadpool 3. We might see.
I'll just keep reminding you of that 10 quid bet because I want to take your money.
You won't be taking my money because I don't think we'll see a Deadpool 3. I'm not saying we won't see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but I don't think we'll see a Deadpool 3.
Oh, I think that's the way that they'll use him first, is have Deadpool become the fourth wall breaking guy, the new Stan Lee, as it were, that just starts appearing in films. I can see that happening very much. But I don't think they'll do that with him. I think that he'll get to have his next film himself.
You could argue that the Deadpool 1 and 2 movies could tie in to the MCU multiverse better than any of the X-Men, because it is so.
Well, it's already got time travel, yeah.
It's not really tied into the.
No,
X-Men
it's not. It's not tied into anything, is it?
I mean, look at Juggernaut. It's a totally different Juggernaut. So there's your first.
And it's the best Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Which is once again voiced by Ryan Reynolds. The other thing, though, that you're going to have a Deadpool 3, because Ryan Reynolds won't be like a big deal on a lot of the other MCU films, but the Deadpool films are his films.
Yeah, the only trouble is
you've got the writer, everything on there.
What they're going to do with Cable? They've got the same actor as that was Thanos is Cable in Broly.
Yeah, but they've already said that. They've already said that's going to be okay. I mean, the fact is, he's heavily made. He's a massive CGI as Cable. They can easily do that. They've already said they're okay with having the same character playing.
Disney are quite clever like that. I mean, they're casting Poe Dameron as Moon Knight. They ain't bothered about crossovers. Patty Oswalt might be right, but yet we might have an MCU Star Wars crossover.
But no, I have to say, Deadpool was the utter antidote for everything we just had. We'd just gone through this misery of really serious X-Men films, and there was such antipathy to it. And then you got the DC universe, which was all serious and make yourself all miserable. And then this, for me, Deadpool was as big a game changer as Winter Soldier was in the MCU.
Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air. Deadpool was.
It was just
really,
magic.
really was.
Just magic. And
It
now,
was.
of course, you can make a film like Sony can make Venom and do a similar sort of thing. Lots of jokes, lots of crudity. It works really well.
When we look back at all the superhero movies that we look at and things that we're going to look at in the future and stuff, I think Deadpool is a very close contender for being my favourite superhero standalone movie. It's up there.
It's probably it's top 5 for me.
Yeah. No,
it's definitely top 5. It maybe even goes top 3.
I think it's so important.
I think ahead of it for me, just because personal love and everything like that.
I think it's so important.
It's one of my favourite things.
I think it is important, and this is controversial, especially in certain people's eyes. But I think Thor Ragnarok, the change in direction that had, was mega important as well. Because without Ragnarok,
we all know somebody who hates that. But
well,
screw him. The Thor Ragnarok is up there as one of my top solo Marvel
because the change it made, you wouldn't have had Infinity War and Endgame had they not absolutely gone cock out and let's change it.
I know we're rambling a little bit, but if we are talking top 3 standalones, I can't really decipher between 1, 2, and 3. But for me, it's Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, and Deadpool.
Then that first Iron Man movie as well.
Yeah.
That was the one that started the whole MCU thing, really, as well. Introduced Robert Downey Jr. as that character, and just the look of that's the first time that they really captured the look of a character so well. There were just some films that were just absolutely amazing. And that first Avengers film, when it first came out, was just brilliant to me. Now I'll rewatch it, and it's dropped down the rankings to me, whereas Winter Soldier is just so flipping strong. It's an argument for another day, but there's some great films ahead for us.
I see. For me, I don't think it's just about the best ones, because obviously Endgame is still leagues ahead of anything else. But I think importance, Deadpool is such a game changer because it's going to change the way we watch these films. We'd had 2 decades of very serious, take yourself too seriously, go into a cinema and shoot loads of children and, be all miserable. Then you've got this. This was incredible.
I hope it carries forward, that it has changed the way they make Xmen movies. That's the most important thing, because Xmen movies are a dredge. They are hard work. They are a chore to sit through, and
they shouldn't have been.
We shouldn't.
Some people love them still. Some people, it's their favourite parts of the MCU. I'm not one of those people, but there are some people out there who that's their favourite parts of it. They love all that. They love the darkness. I mean, they love the seriousness of it, and it's not particularly my thing. And maybe the MCU isn't even what Marvel did. What they've done in films is different to what they've done in comics. And I don't mind that in the slightest. I'll be the guy who goes, well, this has changed from the comic book stuff and all that. But I don't actually mind what they've done. What they've done is make a really entertaining series of films. And Deadpool is the most entertaining of the X-Men universe by a country mile. It really is. It's head and shoulders above everything else in terms of entertainment. People will argue that Logan's the best one because it's the Oscar type movie that they did for the X-Men universe. There are arguments for then suddenly Days of Future Past, X-Men 2, First Class. They're all kind of really strong, great movies and things like that. But those Deadpool movies, Jesus Christ! They fill a spot in you that nothing else does.
So let's rank them.
Yeah, I can't.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2, innit?
Just one complete movie for me.
Yeah, I mean it's 1 and 2, but it's a bloody close 1 and 2. It's a bloody and Deadpool is, as we've said, we've done 3 shows of this. We've done all the X-Men, all the Wolverine, all the other X-Men. This is our 4th one.
Yeah.
Deadpool is the best of the Fox X-Men by a country mile. He
For
ranks
me,
number 1.
The only thing we haven't done is New Mutants, and I don't really care.
I'd still like to see New Mutants, but at the moment, I wasn't really willing to go for the COVID crew, and I'd rather wait to see it.
Well, that's where we sort of neatly finish on the future, isn't it? So the future, we think, are we going to get a third Deadpool? I still think we will. Mark doesn't. Are we going to get Deadpool in the MCU in some?
Yes.
In some of it, I think there's absolutely no doubt.
I think we all agree on that. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt.
I think he's going to be the new Stan Lee.
Yeah, and what I really hope, if it gives us anything, is I just hope that they do X-Men right and they get it right, because they've had a lot of chances to get it right. And you never know, we might get another Fantastic Four, but that's definitely for another day.
We will get another Fantastic Four as well, but who knows how far down the line that is. Spider-Man seemed to be, pimping it out at like the end of the second one. You saw the 1, 2, 3, 4 outside the old Tony Stark building, everything. Thinking, is that going to be the new Fantastic Four Baxter building or whatever? Interesting as it will be along there, but in this X universe, I've absolutely loved it. Are we going to do a ranking on all the films, or is that going to be a separate video?
No, I think we should.
A quick separate one.
I think we should do a ranking on all of the films, but it's
too much of an argument for a lot of them, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. And it may be something we need to post separately, and then I do it as a graphic at the end so we can decide who it is. But for me, Deadpool and Deadpool 2 is 1 and 2. And then let's decide where it fits after.
I'll make that really easy. So Deadpool at 1 and 2. The rest of them I could not give a fuck.
Yeah.
There you go. Show done.
And Martin and I will battle it out and decide what's going to fit where out of the 9 films. Brilliant. So we ended on a really, really, really positive note. So it's Halloween this week. We're likely to be locked down into tier 3 in the next few weeks. So keep safe, everybody. Keep watching Stranger Things.
If you've got Amazon, watch Borat 2.
Just watch Borat 2. If you haven't got Amazon, borrow your mates and watch Borat 2.
Just watch Borat 2 so you can watch a teenager have a period.
The dance is just... It's hard to pick one thing. There's just so many.
The pasta.
I opened with my small hole.
The pasta. My daddy put in baby in me, yes. And he's like, your daddy put your baby in you? Yes.
And of course, Rudy Giuliani removing his wire from down his pants around his balls, apparently.
Yeah. He put his hand in his pants to expose his subpoenas.
Hold on, I just removed my wire. This wire must be really stuck.
If there was ever a bloke who thought he was going to have a fucking rack off right there and then, it was him, wasn't he?
Oh, he really expected it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Right. We'll continue talking after this, but gents, thank you so much to Munt. Thank you so much to Woody. Happy birthday to Woody, and we'll see you again soon.
Happy birthday.